dude, take some water. Thank you for the shirts, man.
No problem, man. Thanks for giving me a chance to be on here. I appreciate it. It's kind of funny. Hold on a sec.
Yeah, take your time. Yeah, you got the hang tags. That's nice.
Yeah, custom inside tag, all that.
Yep, that's where it's at, dude.
Yeah, we make all that in-house now.
Okay.
That's why I started Boss Level Merch, really.
You're making your own tags, too? You print the tags? Or did
I
you
get
order
those
these?
printed, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's good. It's a good move, dude.
Yeah.
But you're doing all your own screen printing.
Yeah, screen printing. We just got direct-to-garment set up.
Is this water-based ink?
No, it's actually plastisol.
This is plastisol here?
Yeah.
Okay, I can feel it.
Yeah, but I heat press everything.
This is heat pressed.
It's printed with plastisol, and then I heat press afterwards to try to get rid of that feeling. You know what I mean? So it doesn't feel so thick and
right.
gross.
Okay. Will that help prevent like some of the cracking that comes along with
a little bit,
plastisol?
yeah, and it helps. It really just helps with the life of the print.
Yeah.
Really. So,
dude, I'm really into this. So like, I started like this brand Imposed
Yeah.
Will like back in like 2009. I think I first kind of was like the inception in my brain, and in like 2010, I think I printed my very first like hoodie. So it's like, I didn't realize going into the situation like how deep this shit can get.
Oh,
But
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm like a nerd when it comes to this stuff, dude. So like
Right.
I like talking to people like you who know what the fuck they're doing.
yeah, so it's crazy, man. Everything I learned initially, so like my background is just factory work, right?
Okay.
So like never went to college. As soon as I got out of high school, like my mom's health wasn't the greatest, so I wanted to just get a good job, stick around, make sure that bills got paid if she couldn't work, you know.
Yeah.
And
Where are you from?
Highland, Illinois.
Highland, Illinois. Okay.
Yeah.
So
You ever been out that way?
I have not. Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, but no,
Or maybe I have. What's it next to? Like which
Troy.
is near like Troy?
Yeah.
Okay. I've never been there, but okay. Now it gives me a better idea because I think I've heard of Troy, Illinois.
Right on. Do you know the owners of Fathom Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu by chance?
I do not.
No. Charles Sheely, I think, and Taylor.
Doesn't sound familiar.
I've known Taylor a long time. She's pretty cool.
Oh,
And
cool.
Charles seems pretty cool.
And
too.
they're in
Yeah.
Illinois?
Yeah, that's where their studio is.
Oh, right
So,
on. Nice. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
So you were you said you stayed at home?
Yeah, so after high school, I just got a full-time job actually making countertops, stone countertops and all that, and started learning all that stuff and just developed into other, commercial or like production type factory jobs. And about, I don't know, I'd say like 2014, 2015 is when I really wanted to make the move to get out of it, and that's when Built by Battle came up, and then I started like learning everything I could on YouTube about screen printing.
Oh, yeah.
Bought a little shitty one color press, threw it in my basement, and tried it, and here I am. Like,
That's the start, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still broke. I don't hide that. I don't hide that from anyone. Like, that's kind of honestly, I want to start pushing more on social media about like kind of documenting the journey, because like, I mean, I had to rent a car to get out here, because my car blew up last year. The motor blew up.
Shit, dude.
And so, like, I just haven't been able to buy another car yet.
Yeah.
So I've been borrowing a car, and it's not good enough to get out here, So it's just, but that's kind of, like you hear people like Andy or Gary or, any of these big people that kind of talk business, kind of tell their story. And most of it has to be told after the fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't feel good to tell it in the moment. Like,
I know, that's what sucks. And it sucks trying to get like clients and stuff, when you're telling people that you're, like when you're putting out on social media that you're still broke, and then trying to, get clients to trust you with their work. You know what I mean?
It's like that. It's like this. It's this catch-22. Like catch-22. It's like you're in this conundrum to where it's like, and I live in the same world too, so I understand. It's like, it's like this whole like fake it till you make it thing, to where you want to present yourself as being like capable of doing the work, like you want to be competent, and unfortunately, like usually those like that confidence a lot of times comes with like having some success. But when you're in the beginning, trying to get that momentum and to get that success, it's like you have to fake it, but it just doesn't feel right. And then I don't know, man, it's just a weird place, because it's just like it doesn't feel natural, because like you're not really living that thing. At least for me anyway. It's like I'm not making this money. Like I'm not uber successful. Like I'm trying to get there. Like I know I can get there. Like I truly believe it, but it doesn't feel right to like to try to act like I'm something that I'm not. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? So
right.
it's just this weird place to live in, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, and I mean, it's one of those things. It's a fear of mine to be almost too real about it. You know, like
Yeah.
because I'm not at a good point where everyone else would be like, you know, dude, you've made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like my business partner with Boss Level Merch, he was a customer of mine, and that's how we became friends. I used to print all of his stuff before, whenever I ran a print shop in Edwardsville,
Okay.
if you're familiar.
I know Edwardsville.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
almost went to SIUE to wrestle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. But I just was honest with him, and we became good friends. And you know, he knew my situation whenever he was like, I mean, I technically went to him, I guess, and said, hey, I'm wanting to do this. You know, like, do you want to, do you want to kind of join in with me? We'll buy all this equipment. And that was just last year with COVID and all that. The company I was working for shut down. And so I got on unemployment, and I was using pretty much all of my unemployment money to sublease the equipment in the space
Oh, really?
just to keep trying to keep going, and
But dude, that's the story of like 90% of entrepreneurs, though, right? I
yeah,
mean, like the person who owns a small business is just out there trying to just make it fucking happen right now.
yeah.
And with last year, it was not easy.
Well, and yeah, and I kind of consider myself a little bit fortunate just because the work that I do doesn't require a lot of face-to-face interaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So most of the stuff, the orders get placed via email or over the phone, and all that stuff. And so pretty much I can just print and ship stuff out on my own.
Yeah.
At least last year. Now we're kind of too busy for that, but where I have to have people coming in and helping and stuff. But
Well, that's a good problem. It
yeah,
means you're
yeah,
growing, dude.
yeah, yeah. This month so far has been the best already, and we're only about halfway through.
Oh,
So
nice, nice.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, all the way from just one machine, huh? What kind of investment does it take to like start like a fucking print shop?
Well, we got pretty lucky. The equipment we bought was already all paid off by somebody, by the people that I worked for.
I got
And
the fucking sniffles, dude. Sorry.
oh, you're good.
Dude, this allergy season shit. I was telling Ernesto I went and help. I didn't. Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I went and I was helping somebody move some shit in this like old warehouse, and all this dust has just got me fucked up.
Oh yeah. Well, and the
I'm.
pollen is so bad right now too.
Yeah, honestly, dude, I've gotten better. There was a time where I had like absolutely awful seasonal allergies, but I
Hmm.
found like kind of as I've changed my diet and I've cut out like a lot of like artificial colors and shit.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I damn near have cured myself of all allergies, but
Yeah.
this thing yesterday has fucked me up. I got a little bit of residual going on, so
That's crazy.
sorry for the listeners because I'm like I feel that sniffling and coughing and shit. But
Right, right.
I cut you off.
No,
Bro.
you're good. I don't even know. I can't remember where I was.
I was asking about how much like the investment.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we wound up getting into it a lot cheaper than what it takes. But like, I mean, really, if you want to get a decent setup for like plastisol screen printing or whatever, which I mean they all kind of use the same equipment. But if you're just talking a manual setup, new equipment, you're probably talking like 30 grand, 40 grand,
Yeah.
for everything. And we started this at like 12. So we did pretty good, and that's with an automatic machine that can
Yeah,
print
because the
like
automatic machine's where it's at. I
yeah,
mean, that's how you put out actual numbers, right?
yeah. This machine it's pretty entry level, but we can put out about 120 shirts an hour.
That's legit,
Yeah.
for sure. I
So
mean, that's a good size order.
yeah, we're hoping to keep growing with it though. But and we did just acquire. We just bought a direct to garment setup, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, you're printing right on the clothing.
Yeah, it's basically like a computer printer,
Yeah.
except you load a shirt in.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Um,
What does that use to print?
what do you mean?
Like, what kind of ink? Like, what is that printing with?
It's special ink developed for that. I don't know.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
lot thinner, so I mean, it has more of like a water-based feel.
Yeah,
Um,
I like the water-based feel.
yeah,
Personally.
which is pretty nice. I can do pretty good with plastisol and then heat pressing. Everyone in the industry calls me crazy for heat pressing everything,
Yeah.
but man, for me, it's like building a table and not sanding the edges.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it feels
It
like
feels
crap
good.
if
I
you
wouldn't
don't
have.
press it.
I wouldn't have guessed this is plastisol
Yeah,
based off the feel,
yeah.
and it's because you pressed it.
Hmm.
That's sick.
Yeah. So, and I'm trying to get the equipment. Well, eventually I will get the equipment to kind of automate the heat pressing afterwards. You know what I mean? So like
Oh,
then that
so
way we don't have to have an actual person
actually
heat
doing that
press.
part of the process.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. So did you buy used?
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything that we bought was used.
Where do you find that kind of shit?
Well, that's what's crazy, man. Like, so I guess kind of backtrack a little bit. So from 2015 until 2018, I was pushing Built by Battle, like, basically either printing stuff myself out of my house with water based. I didn't have a dryer to properly cure it, so I would just like hang the shirts up for a week.
Oh,
Yeah, because eventually they'll dry. Like I'd use a heat gun, and like, but got to do what you got to do, right?
dude, you're just making ends meet.
Yeah,
I
and
can dig it.
yeah. So then I moved to using like a print-on-demand service and all that sort of stuff, which I have a story for that too that we can touch on later. But 2018 came around. I sold my house. I was about to lose it because I was working when I started Built by Battle. I was actually working 4 jobs to come up with the money. So
Oh,
I had
wow.
my main full-time job. I repaired like roofing guns and stuff like that, like nail guns and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
like I'd repair them and stuff in the evenings, and then I also would install commercial and residential fence on the weekends.
You're grinding.
Yeah, and then that would normally take half a day, Saturday and Sunday, the morning. So then the afternoons, for a short time, I was even like I was cutting grass with like a tractor, like big ass fields and shit. Yeah, so like I was like at one point, like I was just nonstop with that, all different things, just driving all over the place, just trying to make money, just to stay alive. And eventually, I kind of scaled that back when Built by Battle started to do more, but it never did enough to really cover anything
Yeah.
back then, especially. And
What was the premise for starting Built by Battle?
so I was going through a really rough time, and I've always struggled with depression, like suicidal thoughts, all that sort of stuff. That's kind of like people that see me now that knew me back in high school and all that would probably be impressed that I could even come here and have a conversation with you
Really?
because like I'm a very like
Right.
hermit type of person, right? So like I don't want to talk to people. Like I'm normally not like I'm not naturally good at speaking with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
That's
get it.
just how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more naturally introverted.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So so that's kind of something that was like a cloud over my head my whole life,
Mm.
and started going through a pretty tough time, and decided I needed to do something to keep me from going down that path. So basically, I just, I'd been thinking for quite a while, like, I'm always the person that helps other people. Like, my whole life, I've always been that person that people come to when even if I don't have my shit together entirely, like, I'm always the person that people come to when they want to get their shit together.
Yeah.
I guess just the energy, because I'm always trying to help people, always trying to, like, guide them, kind of point out. And sometimes people think I'm an ass for it, I guess. Sometimes, like, but I
Who
try
the
to,
fuck asked you,
right,
Danny?
right. But I try to point out, like flaws, like things that people like put them, like they get in their own way on some things. And sometimes I'll just be honest about it, But I wanted to minimize my own downtime, basically. And so I needed something. And I was like, man, it'd be really cool if there was like this community of people that are all the same, because I know I'm not the only person that's like that. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not the only person that is always the one that helps people, but is never really has people around when I need help. So like, why don't I create it? You know what I mean? Because it'd be
Yeah.
cool if I could be a part of that. And it's like, well, I'll just make it. Make it my own.
Yeah.
And so I started working on that. And Built by Battle wasn't the first name that I came up with. And actually, whenever I switched it from the original name to that, everyone hated it.
Really?
Everyone.
What was the original name?
Brick by Brick. I don't know
Brick-
why people would think that would be better.
Hmm.
But there was a small clothing brand in California that had that name already, and I was like, oh, this is going to be massive. Like, there's no way that, like, I could, like, have something where I'd have to switch the name eventually, right? Because, like, my goal was to just make it blow up.
Yeah.
And, at the time, being pretty naive, I was like, this is going to be like a year from now. It's going to be huge,
Of course, it happens overnight.
Right, right. And so that's kind of why I started it. And, I've always wanted to do something to help people. You can't really tell now, but back in like 2012, I made the switch from spending like every Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the bars and just like not taking care of myself to like working out twice a day, 7 days a week, like just hard.
Full on grind mode, huh?
Yeah, and that is really where I learned that you can invest in yourself. You know what I mean? Because like up until that point, I didn't even understand the concept of like making yourself better.
Yeah.
You know, I was just always like, why am I like this?
Yeah, you just accepted it, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this is just how it is. A lot of people do that, man. Like we're like too often we can be like very self-defeating.
right. Yeah, I mean, really, I think the biggest challenge of life is learning how to get out of your own way. Like over anything
100%.
else.
Like
It's
truly believe in yourself.
yeah. Like if you can get out of your own way, like really you could do anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you know, like you got to pick your battles, you know, no pun intended. But like it's true, you know, like right now, what happened? Okay. I my foot caught that.
Oh, you lost it.
Yeah, yeah. But like right now, you know, like I'm 14 hours a day, 7 days a week working on growing this business.
Yeah.
And it's been like that for 6 months for sure. And before that, it was really struggling with like, what am I going to do? COVID just shut down the thing that I was working on and growing for somebody else. And now I'm like basically making no money, putting unemployment into just trying to keep this opportunity,
Right.
you know, and I don't know where to take it. And, you know, so that was kind of a struggle. I wasn't working 14 hours a day then, but I was like really struggling with like the depression. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
especially knowing that like I could go back to working at a factory, you know, assuming that COVID didn't affect it too much, you know, whatever. But like my last year working at a factory was twice what I've made in any year since 2018. Like I just, you know, I haven't made crap, you
Yeah.
know, and so
Yeah,
it's
no, you don't make any fucking money, bro.
right,
I
right.
get it. Not in the
So
beginning.
yeah, so it's just, you know, always struggling with all of that stuff. But yeah, man, it's just it's crazy. It's been tough, but you know, going through with it and pushing on this boss level merch thing,
Yeah.
and you know, that's kind of the foundation for Built by Battle. So I guess to kind of run back to, you know, Built by Battle and kind of like where that is now. Really, what happened was, and because it kind of got a little bit of attention for a little bit, you know.
Yeah, like I mean, we mentioned I think off air Adam Flowers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I know he was working with you guys, and like we worked together at Express Scripts.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's how
Okay.
like I kind of had originally heard about Built by Battle. I know you were like kind of full steam ahead trying to grow that, and you had started the podcast. And,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, like you're definitely like putting in the work to
Yeah,
make it.
I had the rep program. I had all sorts of stuff. I was doing fitness challenges in the summertime and all that stuff. Just trying to do anything I could to help people. The problem was, in 2017, I think I finally pulled the plug on the print on demand service.
Okay.
So kind of get into that story.
Yeah, tell me
Um,
about that.
Yeah, so what happened was it was going great and sales were coming in, but I was terrified of a sale that happened because the print on demand service I was using, which is a big one, like I don't want to name names, but it was a big one. uh, their quality was just horrible. And they would never take responsibility for anything. So
Yeah.
they were even sending out other companies' products to my customers,
Really?
and
Yeah.
it
Fuck
was just
that.
horrible.
Yeah, that's why I won't use like a print on demand service. Like it costs more to maintain your own inventory.
Right.
But I'd rather maintain that relationship with the customer and not have to rely on somebody else to fuck that up for me.
Right.
'Cause they
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of where I was. Like I was like I can't do anything right now, and I was still working, I think at least 2 jobs at the time, and I still had my house, but I was getting behind on it. So I couldn't justify putting any money into inventory and trying to find a local printer. Like I had no real understanding of, you know, all the different shops or anything like that. You know, it was very new to me.
Yeah.
So I just pulled all the products and just like put Built by Battle on the shelf for a little bit because I was like, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, you're just trying to figure it out from like what's the next step
Yeah.
type deal.
And it's crazy because before I made that decision, actually on the phone with that company, and they cussed me out and hung up on me.
What?
So yeah, so like 2 days later, it took me a little bit. I calmed down a little bit. 2 days later, I sent them an email, and this was 2017, and it wasn't like horrible, like me just like cussing them out or anything, but I just kind of pointed out everything that I felt they did wrong, and I said, this is what creates your competition,
Yeah.
and I said,
You
like,
didn't say it nicely. Listen here, you sons of bitches. You motherfuckers keep
Right.
fucking up my orders. You're causing me fucking hell.
right. Well, I threw a little bit of ego into it at the end, and I think I ended it with like you'll hear my name in 5 years or something like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's crazy because we just got direct to garment.
Remember my name,
Right.
bitches.
We just got direct to garment. We just got I'm trying to do print on demand right. So we're all set up. We can connect to people's stores and all that sort of stuff. And we could do the same thing. We already do warehousing and fulfillment for like bulk order stuff. So like you print your screen print stuff ahead of time. We can actually warehouse it, and then we're connected to, we can connect to like a Shopify or whatever. And then when a customer orders on that, we'll get the order information. All the money stuff happens automatically based on like what we agreed on ahead of time, our pricing and stuff, and then we just pick it, pack it, and ship it.
Oh, so you're handling fulfillment?
Yeah. So
Nice.
we can do all of that already. And there's a couple big customers that we're working on right now to get. So hopefully, if we can get that'll be good.
Yeah, that'll help immensely if you can fucking start doing fulfillment. That's a whole other business, though, fulfillment.
I know. Yeah. And we just moved from like this tiny ass little shop in Edwardsville to a 3,200 square foot shop in Highland. And,
Nice. That's a good size.
Yeah, and it's already full because when we bought the direct to garment stuff, we also got 2 manual printers, another dryer, and all that sort of stuff. So like we're set up. We could technically run about 300 pieces an hour, like just between the screen print stuff.
Yeah.
If everything's going. I don't have enough people to run it right now because we're still, we're only 6 months into
Gotta
it.
run lean.
Yeah. But yeah, so we already do warehousing and fulfillment for a few things. My business partner, Ryan, Lambo Fam on YouTube. He's a YouTuber. Obviously, we do all of his stuff, and I think we're going to start integrating some print-on-demand stuff, too. And what's awesome about that is we have a couple in-house brands. So we have Built by Battle. My fiance has her own brand. Ryan has his with Lambo Fam. And it's awesome because we could like kind of use that to pull data and like learn, because we're also our own customer then, so
100%.
That's kind of the goal.
Well, yeah, and if you have a brand, I mean, the best way to kind of manage costs is to vertically integrate, right?
Yep.
So if you own that piece of the process.
Yep. And this is step one of that. I've got a few, like I eventually want to start my own blank production company. So I want to make the blanks.
You want to make the blank shirts and shit?
Yeah.
Man, I wonder what that would even require.
It would require
quite a bit. I mean, you're going to have to get inventory. You're going to have to cut it. You're going to have to sew it.
Well, see, I want to get into cut and sew sublimation, too. So
sublimation printing, you make rash guards and shit?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, so like...
Those are hard to find.
Right. So we could, if we get that set up for cut and sew, then it would be pretty easy, to kind of transition over. Like I would learn quite a bit about cut and sew at that stage.
Yeah.
To where then,
I wonder what the investment would be for that kind of equipment, right? Because you're gonna
probably a lot.
Yeah, because there's going to be quite a bit of infrastructure for that, especially because you're going to have to program something to cut out shapes and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the actual machine to actually cut it. Are you going to have people sew it, or are you going to have like an automated sewing machine?
I think you have to have people do it.
Yeah, so you're going to have to buy sewing machines, and you're going to have people in there fucking sewing that shit.
The goal, I mean, obviously I'm nowhere near it yet, but the goal is...
I like it.
Yeah, like get Built by Battle big, get Boss Level Merch big, and get those doing quite a bit, and then take and reinvest and start up the next thing.
Yeah, it's just like a numbers game, right? Mm-hmm. Like with apparel, it's just how many units can you move?
Right.
Fuck, dude. Try to get it on the right person.
Yep. Yeah, we just took a sample run order for a company on Hollywood Boulevard, actually in LA.
Sick.
Yeah, it's Cards and Coffee, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Never heard of them.
Yeah. So what they do is they sell. I guess they're just a retail store, but they sell like sports cards and like the Pokemon cards and all that
Oh,
sort of
nice.
stuff.
How
And
do they find you?
so it's actually a company that's owned by Dan Fleischman.
Okay. Yeah,
Um,
Dan Fleshman there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and he's I guess my business partner Ryan is kind of in that network a
Okay.
little bit. Yeah.
Sick.
So so they gave us a shot. So
Nice.
yeah, the sample order was pretty big.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, so that's one that if we get the warehousing and fulfillment and all that, that could be,
It's
you know,
just
1,000 pieces a month or
yeah,
so,
dude. I
you
mean,
know.
that's the snowball, right? Like
Yeah,
that's gonna create that momentum to get to the next deal and then the
right.
next deal and then just keep growing, dude.
Yeah, we got a few things we're working on, and a lot of it is just, you know, like it's all about networking. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Who do you
it's
know? How can you meet
yeah,
them?
and growing it. You know, so many people like that's something that I've learned since I got into all of this. Like my mindset before was always like you had to be like a shitty person. You had to be kind of like a snake to be successful in business, right? That's what I used to think.
Yeah.
And like then and because of that, it's also like, you know, you have to have connections. There's it means the same thing, connections and network. They mean the same thing, but what you what your intention of the word
Yeah, it's like
it
when you say you
varies.
have to have connections, it almost implies like you have to already know these
Right.
people to kind of to get this thing. But it's like when you're building a network, like that's something you can actively do.
Yeah, it
Like you can,
grows
yeah, like
every day.
you have control over your network. When
Right.
you say like, oh, you gotta have connections, or you gotta have these, or whatever, it's like I always say like you gotta make connections,
Yeah.
because I always try to like put the spin of like, because it takes work, man. Like you
Oh yeah.
can't just fucking sit back and expect somebody to like your thing or to
Mhm.
believe in your thing or whatever it is. You know, like you have to actively pursue that thing and make other people believe and see what you want.
Right, right. And it's not just putting product out there. Like that's what I thought starting out with Built by Battle. Like if I just create the
The
thing.
coolest fucking shirt, everyone's gonna buy
Right.
it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been
And
guilty of that for sure.
yeah, and I came out with like all these different variants and like all these different designs and all that, and the shit didn't really sell. And that goes back to like making connections. So it's not just about like the network as far as like, you know, like opportunity with network, but it's also the connection with the customer, right? So like that's one thing I've learned is like until someone understands or feels connected to Built by Battle, they're not going to buy a shirt. You know
Right,
what I mean? They have to feel connected to the brand.
right. You have to like create a friendship with them, right? Like
Right.
you have to a true connect. Like you have to help them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep. And so that's, you know, a lot of I've learned so much since 2017 when I shelved the company, you know, like
yeah,
and I mean I've come out with some stuff here and there, mostly out of the pressure from people that do support it, you know, just being like, you need to come out with more, you know, and
yeah. Drop a product here and there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But that actually going back to Adam Flowers, he said something that kind of stuck with me. I don't know, maybe a year or 2 years ago. I told him I was going to start coming back out with it, and you know, because I had a lot of people asking, and he's like, "Well, if you do, like, don't ghost everybody again," you know. And I didn't realize that, like, because for me, it's like I'm just trying, right? Like, so I try, and then life happens, and I get busy, and it kind of has to
Right.
go away. But it's like I didn't realize, like, him just saying that made me realize that, like, the perception is getting kind of messed with every time that it goes away again for a little bit, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I've done that too. Like I've shelved imposed will. It's just like
Yeah,
you do other things in life where it's just like, oh man, like let me just try to focus on this. But
right.
yeah, dude, you don't always realize like what the perception is from other people or
Hmm.
like what kind of impact you've made or how many people actually care or are rooting for you or whatever the
Right,
case may be. Like sometimes it's just lost upon you because you're just like, ah, who gives a shit? Like nobody cares anyway.
right. Well, and that's what's crazy is like, you know, like when you become reliant on like it's almost like what people like expect with social media, right? So like they make a post, and if they don't get so many likes, if
Yeah.
they don't get the reaction they want, then they just, you know, get upset about it. It's kind of the same thing with like something I had to learn with Built by Battle is if I was getting used to seeing messages or you know even people posting pictures or something. A lot of times people would text me because I sold quite a bit around St. Louis, you know, so I would get messages like, I mean, I just got another one the other day. Someone was at the gym, you know, and they saw a Built by Battle shirt, and
Yeah.
it was like an old one, right? Like a really old one. Like the print was actually kind of gone. It was old, like print on demand stuff, and you know, like whenever I stopped getting that stuff for a little bit, I was like, no one cares anymore. So like no one's paying attention, so I can just shelf it, you know.
Yeah,
But that's not always the case.
yeah. You kind
So
of feel like you can just. It's like nobody's watching, so you can just kind of go off in the corner and just like no one's paying attention, but somebody really is paying attention.
right, right,
Yeah.
yeah. It's crazy. It's always like going back and forth between like people care or people don't give a fuck. You know, like it's one of the two,
It's
right?
both, really,
Yeah,
at the
I
same
mean, at the
time.
same time, it really
It's like
is.
your job to make more and more people care as you go.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just such a great. One of the things, I think it was last week, we sat down with, his name's Matt Vincent.
Oh
He's
yeah.
two-time world champion for the Highland Games. He owns a company called Hate Brand Goods,
Oh
and then
yeah.
also like Habit Coffee.
Mhm.
And he was just saying, he's like, dude, he's like, just fuck, like, don't overthink it. Like in reference to like him building his clothing line,
Right.
it's like he's just like just start like just with one fuck. He's like we just had one design. We had a design. We made one shirt. I think we
Mhm.
sold like 40 or 50 of those, and then we just went to the next thing.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't have to overcomplicate it. You just do one thing, and then you do the next thing, and then you do
Right.
the next thing. But it's just it can get very overwhelming if you fucking let it, and then that whole paralysis by
Yeah.
analysis sets in. And then
Right.
maybe this is just me, but I'm like then I get discouraged, and I'm just
Oh,
like,
dude.
and then you don't even know where to start, and then I just go smoke a bowl and take a nap.
Right. I've struggled with that too, man. I really have. Like, you know, over analyzing stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like especially because when I started it, I didn't have any plan. You know, and then it's like, shit. There's you know, a pretty big response right away. So now I feel like I can't be prepared enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person where I've always got to be like planned out a couple steps ahead.
Yeah.
You know, and I've had to learn to let that go because like in the past, like high school and all that, I did music. I play guitar. I've been in a ton of different bands and stuff. And
Your marching band.
no, I
Yes,
actually
you
wasn't.
were.
No, I wasn't. I did play trombone.
Exactly.
I played trombone
That's
for
exactly
like
what I was gonna say.
2 years.
In the fucking marching.
No.
Wah, wah, wah.
No.
No. So you anyway? Where I?
No, it's you know it's kind of funny because that's funny you say that because I did play trombone and then I sold it when I was like 14. I made the deal myself. I emailed the dude,
Yeah.
made the deal. It was a company in Alton, I think, Halpin Music Company or something
Oh,
like that.
cool.
I like my mom always still talks about it like because I made the deal to exchange like to trade in the trombone for a whole guitar set, you know, starter kit and all that.
Yeah.
And I went to her.
Negotiation.
Yeah, I went to her and I was like, already got it all planned out. I just need a ride there.
Sick, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that's initiative right there, right?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of valuable skills there because it's not like you knew what the fuck you were doing.
Right.
You just did something.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to get rid of that thing and I wanted
Dude.
to start playing guitar.
That's the lesson I think we can take from like just when we're younger. I don't know when it is, and it's probably different for everybody. But at a certain point, you just start talking yourself out of shit, and you start like looking at why things can't work. And when you're younger, you're just like you just know what you want, and then if you kind of see a way to get there, you just take the step. You don't even think about it. You're like, oh, I want to play guitar, so this is where I can get a guitar. Let me call this fucking place and see if I can. Like, you didn't like talk yourself out of it.
Oh, dude. Before when it was drums before guitar, right? My mom wouldn't give me a drum set and like electric drums weren't really that big yet. And so I made one out of fucking like the gallon milk containers
Oh,
or
yeah?
whatever. And I mean I at least learned a little bit like
Yeah.
rhythm and stuff like and you know like coordination and all that. That's one thing that going back to like talking yourself out of it. That's one thing that I've really tried to preserve about myself is to like you always hear people say like I can't do that. Like people that are like 30 years old say that have never played an instrument say that they can't.
Yeah, fuck
Like
that.
I can't
You
stand
can.
that. I cannot stand that stuff.
Yeah, I hate
like
that shit.
you know, because it's like you don't know. Like you're just in your own way. Like you could probably. I firmly believe that there's an instrument for everybody. Like there's something everyone could learn, and if they would learn it, that it would help unlock like a part of themselves they didn't even know
Yeah.
existed. You know
Also,
what
like, comparison is the thief of joy. I feel like if you just start, like, you may not be able to play it well, but you can still learn how to play it.
Right.
And you'll eventually get better, just maybe a little bit longer.
Right.
Take a little bit longer. Do you have the patience is the real,
Yeah.
that's the real question. Are you patient enough?
Right.
That's kind of how I feel about, like, foreign language. Like, I want to learn a foreign
yeah.
language so fucking bad.
I
dude.
failed 2 years
But
of Spanish.
Something, dude, me too, dude. Like, something about the way my brain works, because I notice at least with a lot of foreign languages, like the way we structure our sentence, it's like noun and verb, for
Mm.
example. But it's like most places they kind of speak like Yoda. They always
Yeah,
like they're
yeah.
like verb and then noun, and then for whatever reason, like my brain doesn't fucking equate it right. I almost wish I'm so literal. I almost wish that whenever I was learning it, instead of like, okay, so like you read, so let's say we're reading Spanish, for example, you read the
Mm.
Spanish instead of like translating that into an English sentence that makes sense to us. I wish it would just be literally translated. So it'd be broken English,
Right.
but it would help me
Yeah, that makes sense.
understand the actual structure of how they're speaking.
Right.
That's how my brain works, but I'm just weird like that.
I mean, I think that makes sense. That might even, like, just at least initially,
Yeah.
help people kind of understand. Because
Kind of,
that
yeah.
makes sense to
How
me.
does the structure work? Because that's what always fucks me up with language. But
Right.
so do you like plan out your days and shit? Do you do checklists or like how do you like to structure your day? For me, I found like I'll do like checklists are like my life and blood. If I can just because then it gives me something to like visually see and
Hmm.
accomplish, and then just organize my shit. I make so many lists, it's crazy.
Yeah. I Ryan actually showed me this whiteboard concept, right? So like so first off, we had never met each other in person until after we were legal business partners.
Really,
Yeah.
where's he located?
He lives in Wisconsin,
Oh,
Hudson, Wisconsin.
okay,
And he has a roofing company up there and all that.
nice.
And yeah, so the first time he came down, he brought whiteboards and all that stuff. And because we had talked about all that, and he knew that I didn't really have much of a system in place yet. And I'm most of my day is reactive, right? And so he brought the whiteboards down, set them up, and just started like writing stuff on there, like different categories and all that. And so I kind of go by that. Basically, you just if there's something you need to do, write it on a sticky note and throw it in the category it needs to go into. And then every day when you come in, you look at the whiteboard and you just grab, like the one is like a to-do list, and
Okay,
you physically grab them, bring them over to the desk and sit them down, and then you work on
and then you work
on
on
that.
those. How many
Yeah.
of those do you try to get done a day?
Um, as many as possible.
Okay.
But I mean, I outsource some designing. I've got a couple freelance designers, but I do all the designing. I do all the purchasing. I still have hands on almost every single job in production.
Right.
Like
You're
I have one part-time guy, and
yeah.
that's it.
Well, when you're a small business, you
Yeah,
are the business.
right. So between that, I just built the new website. I don't know if you checked it out or
I
not,
have
but
not seen it.
yeah, the Boss Level Merch website. It's pretty cool. You can,
I saw you advertise because now you're talking about you can take the orders right, and
mm,
you have the design. The
yeah. So it's got a product designer
yeah.
in
I
there.
wanted to play with that actually. I just haven't got to it yet.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like less than 5 minutes, you can, if you already have your artwork, if you already have your design, you just click your garment and it's got a little product designer. So it'll show up, you pick the color, whatever, and then just upload your artwork, position it how you want, size it how you want.
Nice.
And then
Yeah.
we get the file after it's paid for, and that's what we print. So,
That's legit. Yeah. There's another company that has like a designer. I usually just like make a rough design and then I'll send it to whoever prints it.
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people do that.
Yeah, I mean, because you want to get like a fucking just a rough out, an
Yeah, and
idea.
a lot of that's one thing. So I wanted to make it easier for the customer for sure, because that's the biggest issue in this industry is just placing an order.
Yeah,
There's especially the mom and pop shops. There's so many of them
yeah,
that like you still have to email like 10 times back and forth before you can actually pay for an order.
yeah,
And I mean, that's how we've done it. And it's like there has to be an easier way, so I started figuring all that out. I have no web design experience except for like just
yeah,
bullshit stuff that I've done.
yeah,
And so a lot of that's plugins that I found scouring the internet and all that, and
yeah,
just made it work.
yeah,
But
dude. You can make almost anything work if you just take the time. And
yeah,
you're just willing to kind of fucking fail along the way.
yeah,
'Cause it's like, oh, that doesn't work. All right, let me try. But dude, man, I've built a couple different web pages, and it is a pain in the
it
ass.
sucks.
It
I
takes
don't
so
enjoy it.
much time.
Same thing with designing, man. I mean, I like whenever I come up with something that's pretty badass, especially whenever I could see it out in the real world.
Yeah,
But like, I'm not a designer. Like, I don't claim to be a designer. I
yeah,
don't wake up every day ready to design something. Like,
yeah,
I'm not. That's not even why I started Built by Battle, is so that my designs could be worn by people. Like, I mean, I'm pretty proud of the dude logo, because I came up with that. That's on the Built by Battle shirts, like basically the icon for Built by Battle.
hmm
But but other than that, like I can't wait until someone else could do it all. You
Yeah,
know
you
what I
just
mean?
hire somebody to
Yeah,
do the
because
designing for you.
it's so frustrating. So I've learned a lot, you know, and I love learning shit. You know, like I think you have to if you want to be in business, especially. You know,
Oh, dude, 100%. If you're like in small business, because you can't afford to pay for everything,
right?
so you got to start getting creative,
Yeah,
right? Like you got to start being able to teach yourself.
yeah.
Yeah. How do you like to learn? Are you into reading, or do you do like podcasts or?
So most is podcasts. Like that's I do audiobooks and stuff, but that's not very frequent. And honestly, podcasts aren't even that frequent anymore. Just I soaked everything up. Like I soaked a lot of stuff up over like a 2 year period, like 2015, 2016, and a lot of that stuff. Like I read every day. Basically, it's kind of funny. The 75 hard challenge is basically what I was doing back then. I'd work out twice a day every day, and I would read every day, and I ate clean like every day. Like all that stuff. A lot's changed since then. I put on quite a bit of weight, but that's what I was doing, and I learned so much, not just about myself, but you know, through the books and podcasts and all that stuff.
Yeah. Any books
And
that you really enjoyed?
um, honestly, for like social media and stuff like that, I like the Ask Gary V book. That one was pretty good. I like
Yeah.
that one a lot. Um, other than that, God, I can't think of the name of it, but David Goggins' book.
Oh yeah, Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
That I actually just told Adam Flowers about it. That one's really
it's
good.
a good read. I
Yeah.
I liked the Audible on that one in particular because it was written by Jesse Itzler, and
Mhm.
he read it, but in between every chapter, him and David would talk,
Yeah.
and they'd have like a conversation. So it's like all this additional content that you don't
Mhm.
get in the book. I'm weird though, man. Like I'll listen to an audiobook and I'll buy the book. Like I have David Goggins' book.
Yeah, I see it right there
I'm
actually.
actually giving this one away. I have another one down
Oh,
there.
nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's like, yeah, man, I'm into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get back into that where I'm reading a little bit every day. I know it would help me out.
Yeah.
Especially like leadership, you know, because like I mean, the company I ran in Edwardsville, we got up to 3 employees outside of myself. You know, so I was, you know, kind of leading a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't really know what I was doing, you know, like had never been in that position before. You know, just trying to make it work, and until you're thrown into it, you know, I mean, it's obviously good to learn as much as you can ahead of time, but
Yeah.
until you're doing it, man, there's so many little
Yeah.
like daily. I mean, you can't predict everyone's personality or everyone's,
Dude, it's
you
such
know,
a challenge, bro. It's
yeah.
such a challenge. Dude, a couple books that really helped me. They're both written by Jocko Willink. Have you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Extreme Ownership, and
yeah.
then also the Dichotomy of Leadership. Both,
I
both
haven't
excellent books.
read either one of those, but I've watched so many interviews of him
Yeah,
that I've picked up quite a bit that he, you know, says in those books. So
yeah, dude. Just those principles, just very helpful.
yeah,
Especially the Dichotomy of Leadership, because it seems so like just obvious, like duh, like there's no like one way for anything. It's because there's always like this balance. It's like you can't treat everybody the same. It's like some people need this, but some people need this. Like there's the spectrum.
hmm,
So it's just like it points out like a lot of things. It's like, oh yeah, that's very obvious, but like when you read them, it's like, yeah, it's like it's just good to keep those kind of things like top of mind, right?
right.
So leadership is not easy, dude. It's definitely not easy.
Right. Well, and I mean, I've failed, you know, like I've made wrong calls and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you know, but at the same time, like there's a few things, you know, like to stay positive about it. There's a few things I think I do pretty well.
Yeah.
And like one thing is I think I help people keep the vision, you know, like that's one thing
That's
that,
important for a leader.
yeah. So like I'm a pretty transparent person, you know, like I don't try to hide anything.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to like the goal,
Yeah.
like and all of that stuff, like I was just talking with my part timer. He's been helping so much. And actually we went to school together, but we never like ever intentionally hung out before. But the first time I made a post on Facebook asking if someone, you know, needed part time work or whatever, he was the first person to respond. So I gave him a shot, and he's been with us ever since. And he sacrificed a lot to help, and he believes in it a ton. And you know, because of that, like I definitely intend on him being a key factor in the growth and all of that.
Right.
because he's compromising quite a bit,
Yeah, he bought in early.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but it's just crazy. The other day we were talking about like, when we could eventually have the building that we want and like having like the different things. Like one thing I want to do is I want to put basically like a library, like where all the employees can like check out books and it's all like self-development type stuff.
Yeah, they did that first for him.
Did they?
Yeah. There's a library in there.
Yeah, so that's the kind, because I mean, I do plan on eventually getting to the point where I could, start reading every day again. Right now I'm in such a reaction mode. Like I said, every day, like I can't predict when my phone's going to go off. I can't, like, there's so much going on all at once. And I already feel like I practically fail every day. You know what I mean? Because
No.
there's like I have so much I need to get done, but there's always a list that is almost equal in the
Yeah.
day that I don't get done.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. But that's why I'm only at the house maybe, I don't know, maybe a couple hours outside of being asleep
Yeah.
tops. And other than that, like 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So
Dude, that's honestly like why I really liked doing like 75 hard. Like I don't live by fucking 75 hard. I don't
right,
do that
right.
every day, but like I do for the most part read like 10 pages a day.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make sure I'm eating well and like getting my water. Like I fucking I'm getting my movement in. Just
Yeah.
like doing like those like daily things to like make sure I'm taking care of myself. At least if I don't get everything done, at least that feels like a win.
Yeah.
And then you have control over something, so that
Right.
way you don't feel like, at least for me, like that way I don't feel like I'm constantly like in this reactionary state of just constantly like fielding shit and responding. It's like, all right, well, at least I have control of this, and then I can plan for this and this, and then it helps deal with all the other shit I found.
Yeah, and that's you're absolutely right, and that's something I need to do. One of my biggest problems right now, like talking about getting out of your own way, right?
Yeah.
One of my biggest things that I just haven't figured out about myself is since I've been trying to take care of so many other people, like like for instance, if I have someone's brand that I'm developing, I literally treat it like it's my own, right? So like I and Ryan and I talk about this all the time. Like eventually we want to have like account managers and basically train them to perceive themselves as an extension of that company.
To actually, yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
care, which
Yeah.
is, that's the fucking key. You got to care.
And so like, but I do that so much to this point that I don't know how to say no to anyone but myself, right? So like I'm the only person I say no to every day.
Got to flip that.
Yeah, I know. It's so like it's crazy. It's another challenge that I got to figure out,
Yeah, bro.
But
You can do it.
Yeah,
Just got to get back to it.
right.
Yeah,
For sure.
dude. You should do 75 hard.
I should.
Fuck
I've
yeah.
been talking about it.
Do it, bro.
I know Ryan's doing it right now.
10 pages a day, 2 workouts a day. Doesn't even have to be crazy. That's
I
the
know.
thing. People fucking, especially us dudes, man, like, how old are you?
33.
33, exact,
Yeah.
same age as me. So it's like, we're not in our fucking 20s
Mm.
where we can just like bang it out or just like go super hard and like not get a lot of sleep and then feel great the next day. Like, we got to fucking take care of our bodies, dude, because
Right.
like we fucking feel it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't train as hard as you used to because your body's not designed for that. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to
Right.
like taper your training more for just like it's not performance based, right? Like the whole no pain, no gain shit, throw that out the window for real, dude. It's like just doing a little bit every day and like just not killing yourself. So like with 75 hard, for example, I feel like so many people feel like they got to go like so fucking hard that they burn themselves out. Dude, my first workout every day was just literally I wake up in the morning and I go for a 45-minute walk. Just walk, nothing crazy, but
Yeah.
I get outside, I get sunlight, I get fresh air, I get that movement in, and it's all within like the first couple hours of my day. I get my water in, I take my picture, I read my pages. So at least that way, for me, I would set up like my day like just like winning. It's like boom,
Yeah.
success, success, success. And then now I kind of won my morning and it kind of like sets the pace for the rest of the day. Because then all you have to do is get like one more workout, drink your water, and not fuck up your diet. Like that's
Right.
not like crazy hard. So
Right.
that was successful for me, but just like finding a way to take control.
Right. Well, and that's just like if I could I know for a fact I could grow this company so much faster if the 2013 version of me
Yeah.
that would get up and run 3 miles every day, like within the first hour of opening my eyes, and like
Yeah.
ate clean every day, ate like 6 small meals a day, and then I'd lift at night and lifted heavy.
Yeah.
Like if I had that now,
Yeah.
like I know that I would get. I'd probably only have to work 7 hours a day and get just as much done. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I know that.
you'd be more productive with your
Right.
time.
And that's the thing. Like that's where like knowledge is useless if it's not applied. Right.
Right.
So like I know
Knowledge
this
is just
shit.
potential.
Right.
We all know what to fucking do.
Right.
Most people do. If you ask them how do you get healthy, everybody almost knows what to fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Do you drink enough water? How much water do you drink?
I don't drink enough. I just bought this half-gallon thing though. I
Yeah.
have been drinking that. I don't drink the whole thing though every day.
You gotta
And
drink two of those a day, bro.
I know.
2 of those a day.
I used to carry a jug around.
Gotta get a gallon in, bro.
I
That's
know.
the start. That's the starting place, really. I feel like we all just make it so complicated. Like
I
it's
know.
like, oh, I gotta do this, this, and this, but it's just like, just start drinking your water.
It's just crazy. Like I don't know if it's just the way we're all designed or if it's society or what it is, but like it's so crazy how life is hard because of our brains. You know what I mean? Like
Dude.
we all are almost instinctually like on the same level as far as like we won't put the effort into ourselves. Like you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
have to be that has to be drilled into you.
That's why we love the ones that do.
Right. Yeah. Right.
The ones who
Yeah.
like just like. It's almost like they don't even have that voice, like the Goggins and the Jockos
Yeah.
and those motherfuckers and the Cam Hanes and those guys.
Mhm.
It's almost like it's like at the end of the day they're just human. They deal with that too,
Mhm.
but they figured
it
yeah,
out.
it's like shut the fuck up, bitch
Right.
voice, and then but yeah, dude, we're all guilty of it for sure, man.
Yeah.
We just like feel like we have to do it all at once, and then instead we do nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like just do something.
Well, and that's something that I struggled with for a long time too. Is like the only way that I stayed on top of things whenever I would work out before was, I mean, that's all I did outside of working.
Yeah,
You know, and
you got obsessed.
yeah, and the same effort that I'm putting into business right now is what I used to put into working out.
Yeah.
And so now that I've got this other thing that I'm working on,
Yeah.
it's like I feel like I can only do one thing at a time, and I know I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Like
Because if you do the other, it'll help the business.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I know I can diversify my energy, but like I've never done it yet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's one of those things. Like I'm not telling myself I can't do it.
Yeah. You
Like,
just haven't done it yet.
I just haven't done it, and I need to. I definitely need to.
Yeah.
But
You can
you
do
know,
it, bro.
Yeah.
I have fucking faith in
Yeah.
you. Boss the
Dude.
fuck up.
Dude, like you should hear the conversations with Adam.
Yeah.
Adam Flowers, he'll fucking yell at me.
That's funny because I bust his balls all the
Yeah?
time. I'm always on his ass because you know Adam, bro. Like
Mhm. Yeah.
he wants. Adam's so funny because it's like every time you talk to him, he's always like returning to his old self.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, bro, just grind. Just focus on things. Just do your shit, bro. Just
He's
do your
working
shit.
on some good shit right now.
I really like seeing how focused he is right now. He's really
Yeah.
like locked down because I was always pushing him like, dude, just fucking move. Just move. You want to act? Just move. But he's still here.
Yeah.
But at least while he's here, he's actually doing stuff, which is really cool. He has the shorts that he's putting out.
Mhm.
Fucking like he's honing his craft. He's learning a lot of different areas of the business. I mean,
Mhm.
he's into like the special effects, but he's also doing the writing and the directing and the
Right.
acting. It's just like I definitely appreciate the grind. Like
Yep.
I'm happy to see him fucking grind. I just wish I could get him out of his comfort zone just a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, now he's working on like health coaching and stuff like that. So he's kind of messing with that.
The guy he looks like he's 20.
I know, and I give him shit
Doesn't
all the
fucking
time.
age.
Anytime he tells me he's out of shape, I'm like, "What? Did you lose like 2 abs? Now you're down to a 6-pack? Like, fuck you."
Yeah, bro.
Because like genetics, have a little bit to play into that. But that dude
sure.
is solid with like he with his working out and all that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
he's always been fairly active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like it's just crazy. And like, dude, kickboxing and all that, like that shit. It is nuts whenever he puts out a video on that shit. Like I tell him, I'm like, man, you need to post that stuff more frequently
Yeah.
because like people want to see that shit. I told him he could get on TikTok and go viral just like showing like a kickboxing
Dude,
workout.
it's easy to go viral on TikTok.
Yeah.
There's like no restrictions on what kind of reach you're getting right now,
Mhm.
so you can get crazy organic reach.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten on TikTok.
Yeah, I'm on it. I've posted a little bit, mostly through Boss Level Merch, but Yeah.
I downloaded it and then I deleted it. I was like, I'm not gonna do this shit. But then I was just like, do I want to be that guy who ignores the signs of the times and then you
Mm-hmm.
just get left behind, or then you when you do finally come around, it's too late and it's
Right.
just like now you're just wasting your time. Like most of us, I feel like I'm kind of doing that with Instagram, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like there was a time where it was you could get unlimited organic reach, and then they started implementing algorithms, and now you got to
Yeah.
start paying for that, right? And it's just like, damn, man, I missed it. I missed it. But you still fucking try. You still
Right.
fucking try. Now you just got to attach dollars to it.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. That's honestly, dude. That's probably one of my biggest struggles is actually like investing the dollars into ads and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
It's I know it's valuable and I know you should do it, but for whatever reason, I have the biggest resistance to it, and it's probably detrimental. I just need to get over it, but it's just like it's just one of those things,
Right.
dude.
Well, and it's also like we just started running ads for the new site and all that, and it's like, man, like, is it going to turn into anything, or is it just pissing in the wind kind of thing, And it's like,
Yeah, you got to do. I think statistically, you got to run ads for at least 90 days for them to
right.
be effective. So you might not see anything for the first 90 days, but then like day 91, it'll fucking work for you.
Yeah,
It's like,
dude.
can you
Yeah.
wait it out?
Yeah, my friend Robert, he owns a company called The Launch. Have you heard of them?
Mm-mm.
They do custom embroidered hats.
Okay.
And dude, this time last year, he was like, I think he was still in his basement with a couple machines, and like now he's up to like 12 employees doing
Sick.
like well into the six figures every month.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Doing custom hats.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's insane. And so he's got Facebook ads like down, like he's got it figured out. And what's awesome is with direct to garment now, like that's kind of the same customer because his average customer is like 1 to 5 hats or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's about the
So
same.
you're trying to use that same business model.
Yeah, so I'm trying to pick his brain, learn a little bit, try and get a little bit of that.
Dude, it's just like when you meet those people who are doing what you want to do, it's just like, can I just have all your information?
Right,
it's like
right.
just sit here and just answer tell me your fucking wisdom, Yoda.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and just not overlooking like the humility you have to be in that position though too, right? So like, I used to, whenever I'd see someone that was easily accessible, like not someone that like Gary or someone that's you're never going to be able to get around them, one on one really.
Pay him.
Yeah. I mean,
He'll get you.
I don't have that kind of money.
Gary's actually fairly accessible, believe it or not.
Yeah.
You can probably find him, but yeah, I think he's like 10 grand.
Yeah.
Maybe more. Dude, I'm thinking about it. I wouldn't mind having him on the podcast. I'd hate to have to pay for it, but
Yeah.
if I could make it worth the while. So there's these guys. They have a podcast up in I think it's Minnesota. Shout out to Stationary Astronauts. I don't know if they're really still putting out episodes, but they did have Gary Vee at one time.
Really?
And but they had like a marketing company. And I think they would do like these before COVID and shit, but they would do what they call like Lincoln drinks. So they do like these social mixers and whatnot. And I think one of the events that they had Gary Vee come out and do like a Q&A and shit.
Oh yeah.
But before the Q&A, they sat down and did a podcast with him, and then they went and did like the live thing like on the stage.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, hey man, he's accessible.
Yeah, and so back when I still had my house, I actually skipped a house payment to go out to the Gary Vee book launch at First Form HQ.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dang.
So I met him and Andy. I actually gave Gary and Andy the first 2 Built by Battle shirts.
Nice.
I
I wonder
made.
how many things that they've been given
Yeah.
that they just like, all right.
Right. Yeah, I just imagine that they got donated like 2 weeks later or something. Not
But at least
saying
you
that-
put it out there.
Right.
Dude.
It's all about the energy. And I got to explain, like, they both asked about it. They were like,
Yeah.
like, what is that? And I told them they both,
Like,
said
cool.
it was cool. Yeah. I also met Sean Whalen, which, speaking of merch, like, he's killing it with Lions Not Sheep.
Yeah.
Dude, that's nuts.
Yep.
Like, just how fast that's grown.
I would love to sit down with Sean. That'd be an interesting conversation. He's an intense dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, his content, I don't really have any time to really get on social media anymore. So, like,
Yeah, when you're doing, you can't really consume.
and that's actually, I feel okay about that, because you have all these other people, like, people that are making more money than me that are always, like, focused on, like, making sure that they're always reacting to like someone like Gary's posts and all that stuff. They're always going to the events. But what makes me feel okay with like stepping away from all that is Gary himself. He said he hopes that one day he has no one listening to his shit, because that means everyone's applying it.
Everybody's out there working.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Just like doing the actual work. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, dude, it's been an hour.
Has it?
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, it's been a great conversation.
For sure.
We're gonna wrap this up, but like, what's ahead, man? Like, where can people check you out? What can they look forward to?
Yeah, so Built by Battle is going to be coming back this year, like for sure. It's happening. I'm thinking early summer. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
You thinking about relaunching the podcast?
I don't know.
Just kind of sticking with the merch game right now?
Yeah, probably just like content, just regular social media stuff. No podcast yet, because I do want to be involved in that. And Scott, the co-host that was on the podcast, we're really good friends, and we definitely want to do it again in the future.
Yeah.
But I have to have enough hats taken off of me before I could really dedicate to it. I'm tired of like doing something and then having to scale it back because of everything else taking priority.
You can't constantly spread yourself thin.
Yeah. So we've got stuff in the works for Built by Battle to come back, which I mean, it's still crushing it on social media, even though I barely ever post anything. Like, it's crazy. The Facebook page still gets like, I don't know, like 30,000 or 40,000 like reach every month.
That's legit, dude. I mean, you built a community.
Yeah, and I feel horrible though because I it's grown, but I'm not doing anything with it right now. But it's coming. There's good stuff coming with it. Maybe hopefully a few sponsorships and stuff, bigger names that we're hoping to work with.
Cool.
Again, we did some in the past, but then boss level merch, I'm really hoping that takes off. That should be pretty big.
Well, dude, you keep grinding, dude. It'll definitely. Yeah. A plus B equals C.
Yep. I am working on a book, but no, that's very, very early.
Yeah.
Very early. But yeah, so that'll be, that might be a year or two still.
Well, good shit, dude. When you print the book, dude, let me fucking know. We'll bring you back. We'll talk about the book.
For sure. Sounds good, man.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, man. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming out, dude. And,
yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Till next time.